Coach, I guess being back home, how's it going to feel just being back amongst the home crowd now that students are finally here?
Yeah, the whole vibe changes, right? All of a sudden you're waiting at stoplights and it takes 10 minutes longer to get through campus. But, you know, that's the beauty of our campus is everybody's milling about. And there's students everywhere, and that's when you know it's soccer season, volleyball season, and football season. So we're thrilled to be in that time of the year, and the weather's already changing a bit. Maybe we'll get lucky this September, and yeah, fall is upon us.
So your winning percentage following a loss is .605. So what's kind of been your message to the team to kind of carry that trend going into this matchup against SMU following the setback against San Fran?
I just sat them down and I said, ladies, don't screw up my winning percentage after a loss. Just kidding. I never even knew that stat. I'm sure they could care less about that stat from my perspective. But the one thing they do care about is following up a poor performance with a good one. And sometimes that's just grit. Sometimes that's just attitude and mentality. And sometimes it's tactical. A splash of this or that spices up the team's kind of chemistry on the field. Sometimes it's player management. You know, who the starters are, what positions are they playing. So we kind of dug into all those things this week. But yeah, they were pretty feisty on Tuesday, which let me know they're going to be ready for Thursday.
You have a 13-game winning streak at home against non-conference opponents. How do you plan to kind of carry that going into this matchup?
The same way we've built it. It's just consistent Tuesday, consistent, you know, getting organized for our opponent on Wednesdays. You know, the right players who know how to take care of themselves and their mind is right for a Thursday game. The crowd will be a factor. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've got a good formula, but it's up to the coaches and the players to come ready.
Coming off the road trip, who would you say has improved the most just coming off these last two games?
I think we learned a lot. I think our freshmen learned a lot. So I think Emma and Raleigh, who played quite a bit, learned a lot about what it's required in real games where teams have a plan for you and the physicality is real. I think those two guys had some growth. I think Emily McCartney was absolutely fantastic against Santa Clara, so we saw the best of her there, and I thought Eleanor was great against San Francisco. They both have great distribution skills. They're both really good defenders, so I think those guys grew. You know, these are new players on our team that need to know kind of how it is to be here. So a lot of people played really well. I thought Kylie Barr's been mega consistent and showed in the Santa Clara game that, you know, in some cases she's a woman amongst girls and plays like she's a full grown-up, you know, and take notice of Kylie Barr this season. She looks like she's back with a vengeance.
On Kylie Barr, you mentioned her in the Santa Clara game. There was a moment where she literally said, hey, like, I got her. As a coach, to see your player out there do that?
Yeah, it's great. Kylie, look, the whole fearless thing, like Kylie could have written that campaign because she's never been worried about who she plays against. Respectful, for sure, and has had her games where she was, you know, felt like she didn't outplay her opponent, but she's never walks into a game with anything but confidence in her mind and in her heart to go play her best. And so a lot of players draw confidence. You know, it's like one of those things, God, glad she's on my team. You know, I think a lot of players feel that way. I know us coaches feel that way, and I'm glad to see her back out there doing what she does, doing Kylie things.
You mentioned Sunday's game, there was a lot of the grit and maybe some intangibles that were missing, but there was some tactical stuff. Once y'all got to watch the film, kind of was there anything particularly y'all been working on?
You know, I think it wasn't working on like new. It was kind of re-emphasizing how important our ability to break pressure and all the different ways that you can break pressure. The field there makes it very difficult to play the way we play, but everyone has to deal with that. But there's a reason they're so good at home, and that's a big part of it. So that's cached as something that maybe we should have dealt with better. That's not said as an excuse. It's like maybe because their field was so hard to pass on, we should have been more direct tactically. We should have been a 4-3-3 team that day. We should have just stepped up and pressed higher that day because the normal flow of the game just wasn't going to happen on that surface. Like the ball bounced around like a pinball. So we could have done a better job of that organizationally, and I think once we went to a 4-3-3, we created a bunch of chances. So that proves we should have done it a lot sooner. But this week we just worked on, okay, what sort of pressure is SMU going to show, and how's it going to come? It's going to be a mid-block. Are they going to sit deep? Are they going to come after us? And then what are our answers? And if we can find the right solutions in those times, then we should be fine.
And there's been quite a few offsides in the last couple games. Do you think that's anything, or is that just early season stuff that'll work out naturally?
It should work out naturally. No, I'm only using the field thing for the San Francisco game. Then I can't use that anymore. No, but I think we're a little eager. And, you know, the outside player sees it's time to go. they've actually got to look at the player on the ball and decide, is she ready to play it? If she's not ready to play it, you can't go. You're going to be offside. And a smart back line sees you running off, they just stop moving, right? You run right offside. So I think we're a little eager, and maybe the timing of the pass has not kept up with the timing of the run, but it should be the other way around. The runner should be timing their run off the pass, because once I touch it, the other player can't be offside anymore, right? So then she's got to take off. And as fast as our outside backs are, they don't need a jump. They don't need a head start. They just need to be facing the correct way and stay onside, and then we'll get behind them. I'm not sure Kylie Barr was offside, by the way. So that one particular one, I think I'd have a question about. But yeah, we deserved to be called most of those.
And then going into SMU, it's been quite a bit since we played them. Just how does this game come about? Is it because they're in the ACC now, or has it been trying to?
No, it's like they got a new coach, and we have a great relationship, and I got a ton of respect for Nicole. And she said from the beginning, like, everyone wants to play us because we're in the ACC now. We're a good team. We have a good RPI. I'll get to you. And then she called me this year and said, hey, look, we got an opening. How about we make this thing, get this started? And I was like, all right, great. And I assumed she'd say, you got to come to us. And I was like, okay, great. She goes, yeah, we'll come to you. I was like, sign right here. So she's coming to us. We're going to them. And I think we might even go back twice, or we're going to try to keep this going. It makes too much sense. So many of our players are from Dallas, Fort Worth area. It's good for her if they beat us in recruiting. It's good for us if we beat them in Dallas recruiting. It's just got so much on the game. And we could both bust to each other if we wanted to. So there's that aspect as well. So it's a great honor to play against Nicole. She's done a lot of great things in the game, and I thought there were a few times the last few years that we specifically watched SMU and the way they played against Texas and a few other who they had great success against. I think they beat Texas twice in a row. We watched them against Texas. We watched them against somebody else to take some of their defensive game plan and use it for ourselves. So a lot of respect for those guys. We know the team will be ready. Most of our team knows their team and vice versa. So that can add some extra zest to the game.
Yeah, and speaking of knowing them, have you ever had a player play against a sibling in the game before with Chloe?
I do not think so.
Yeah.
Andrew Stern's gonna have to get to work on that
Yeah.
on that statistic. We've had a lot of sisters here.
Yeah.
We have sisters that are coming. We have one sister who's going to join Sophie. We've had the Jones sisters, and we had the Puente twins. So we've had some sisters, but I don't know about playing against a sister. Wait, maybe. I don't know.
And last one for me, they're having a tailgate on Thursday for, I think, the first chance for Raider Riot to come be an official kind of student organization out here for soccer that's been
Great.
basketball. What would your tailgate essentials be for the students and have a good tailgate for the out here?
Is this going to go out to the public?
I mean,
I think the essentials are what a classic college kid would determine their essentials are. I think that would be the case. Bring the attitude. Know that they will have an impact. I mean, they have such an impact at basketball, and there's 15,000 people there. If this thing is full, there's 2,500 people. So imagine their impact at a soccer game. It could be triple that because they're going to be loud and proud and heard. We are honored that they're coming. We're so glad that they're embracing our scene here, and I'm going to make sure that we get with them after the game and thank them properly. Maybe have them out on the field for a picture with the team or something fun like that, because when they show up, things get rowdy.